Hello guys and welcome. I hope that you're having a good day or good morning or good evening. My name is I play 4K, AK I play AK I play 16K or UHD King. During this video today I'm going to show you Burnout Paradise PC game, the ultimate box. So this is the classic version from 2008 running in 16K resolution rendered in real time, or 133 megapixels rendered in real time, and then downscaled to 8K resolution native, but it's still rendering 16K resolution first, forcing those pixels through NVIDIA DSR, and then downscaling to 8K resolution native. Today I'm using the NVIDIA native DSR technology for doing 16K resolution on the 8K resolution native screen. And I'm using the single Titan RTX video card during GPU architecture with 24 gigabytes of the VRAM or 24,000 megabytes of the VRAM, and the old school Xeon E5-2697 V2 CPU. It's an enterprise CPU that comes with 12 cores, and when hyper-threading technology is enabled, it's using additional 12 virtual cores or 12 threads, and pretty much delivering 24 virtual cores under the Windows, Linux, but I shut down the 9 cores, and I'm only using 3 physical cores, and I shut down the hyper-threading technology, so it's 3 physical cores, 3 physical threads, and Titan RTX right now running stock, but when I'm going to use the very heavy preset, I'm going to enable the overclocking. So we're going to learn how much of boost I'm receiving through the software overclocking. Keep in mind that Titan RTX today is using dual fan design, which is completely stock by NVIDIA, and I also using the NVIDIA thermal compound paste. I'm not using the liquid metal thermal compound paste during this benchmark, as again this is Burnout Paradise Classic. And guys, just because I promised you back in 2019 and I tried to record it for you guys on RTX 2080 Ti, some of the tests in 16K resolution and some of the tests in 12K resolution, like all the tests in 12K resolution, but RTX 2080 Ti was crashing at 12K resolution every 5-8 minutes, and I recorded like 20 times, and I got so upset and I stopped doing that, and I decided when I'm going to get the Titan RTX I'm going to re-record it. But the reason was I was running out of space on my SSD RAID array, which is 4 disks, 1 terabyte Samsung 850 Pro. It was running out of the space. That was the reason. But after that, when I got the Titan RTX, I was recording some other games, but I delivering right now my promise to you guys, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and give you an extra bonus. So I'm going to record you the classic Burnout Paradise, the ultimate box, the classic game from 2008, and I'm also going to show you the Burnout Paradise PC game, which will be remastered version from 2018, 10 years after. So 16K resolution, which is 15,360 pixels by 8,640 pixels. The quality will be at low. This is how we're going to start, and then I'm going to show you all kind of different presets. The effects will be also improved, and in the end of this video I'm going to show you the SSAO, which is taxing heavily on even on the Titan RTX at 16K resolution. Okay, in the end of this video I'm going to show you what kind of system I was using, including the CPU Z, IDA 64, etc. Just stick around for the end of this video. So let's go ahead and have a look. This is the settings right now that I'm using, and let's go ahead and have a look, guys. At the right top corner I have the display information system, that is the self-explanatory, very easy to follow, as you can see. Just go ahead and read the abbreviations. Alright, so when I'm doing the burnouts, there is a volumetric particles taxing a lot on performance, in about 10% at least. I would say 10-15%, but just because it's still at 60 FPS and there is no way for us to make unlimited FPS in Burnout Paradise, unfortunately, including the Burnout Paradise Remastered. So I'm assuming it's way above 60 FPS because we never saw the 59 FPS. Okay, so at low it's running beautiful, guys. This game reminds me of the Need for Speed from 2014, but this game was released in 2008. So Need for Speed AI just EA just pretty much stole this game engine problem and the idea and integrated in Need for Speed Most Wanted 2014. Keep in mind that this game not going to look like this classic version on your 4K resolution monitor, because I'm running 16K resolution monitor. Somehow the 3D mesh is looking higher polygons count, but it is not. It's just because the very high resolution, it's smoothing the edges pretty well even without the anti-aliasing at 16K resolution. Okay, but remaster version will look just like that at 4K resolution. So if you like this game, if you're a fan of Need for Speed, you most definitely want to play this game. This game is about the tricks, jumping, racing, unlocking some cars, just like Need for Speed. And plus you can play this game online, and you can also drive the bikes in this game, keep that in mind. And there's all kind of different cars: classic, sports, luxury, exotic. Alright, 60 FPS, no problem. Okay. Keep your eye at the VRAM utilization, which is below 13,000 megabytes right now. Total VRAM utilization on the Titan RTX Turing GPU architecture TU102 GPU. Video card can go all the way to 24,000 megabytes, and system RAM utilization can go all the way to 32,000 megabytes, because I'm having 32 gigabytes in quad channel, 4 sticks, 8 gigabytes of the system RAM. And keep your eye at the GPU utilization. GPU utilization right now below 80%, so very weak GPU utilization. We're wasting about 1,000 shader cores at least, so we're wasting a lot of the performance right now. We want to keep our GPU utilization, guys, at 99%, which is the excellent GPU utilization, or like 97%. This is what I consider when we fully utilizing our video card. And as you can see, our CPU utilization is below 40%, and today I'm using only 3 core, 3 threads, 3 physical cores, 3 physical threads. As again, I disabled 9 cores in the BIOS. I'm using the gaming motherboard BIOS with the X79 Gigabyte UD3 motherboard version 1.1 with F20 BIOS, so it allows me to disable the cores. And I did so because the multipliers are locked on the CPU, so the turbo boost is automatically controlled by the Intel CPU, and the BIOSes and the drivers by the Intel, and there is no way for us to unlock it on this V2 E5 Xeon V2 CPU. So 2600 series. So the best what we can do, we can overclock our CPU through the BCLK clock, which is the cheating, by improving the frequency only 6 megahertz additional, only 6 megahertz, but gonna boost it up our CPU by 200 megahertz, no matter what kind of multiplier it's running, an automatic turbo boost. So as you can see, I'm running right now 3500 megahertz per each core, or 3.5 gigahertz per each core. But when I'm running 12 cores, physical 12 cores, the speed is 3200 megahertz. And when it's not overclocked through the BCLK to 106 megahertz, when it's running just 100 megahertz, my frequency with 12 cores, physical cores, will be 3000 megahertz. Okay, so pretty much not bad. 3.5 gigahertz. I can, as you can see by our CPU utilization, I can go probably and enable only 2 cores, 2 threads, 2 physical cores, and my frequency will be 3.6 gigahertz. But 3.5 gigahertz versus 3.6 gigahertz will be almost the same, 100 megahertz difference. I don't think it's going to give us 1 FPS extra. Okay, in the end of this video, we're going to talk more about the hardware. So let me go ahead and approve the preset. Guys, I'm coming in real time. Don't forget to smash that like button for those subscribers that was asking this game to record. So subscribe us again if you're not subscriber. Share it with the friends. Share it on the forums that you're playing this game with. It's the world's first 16K resolution Burnout Paradise classic game, guys, from 2008. And remaster is coming based on your likes. So overall detail, medium. Let's go ahead and try the medium. And effects will be motion blur, bumper, cam. I'm not going to touch the presets. I'm just going to run them, the whole presets, and then I'm going to also increase the visuals to another level by tweaking some settings in the end of this video. Guys, I'm about to go too bad, but decided to go ahead and record it for you. So you're going to receive this video before the Christmas, and you're going to watch this video before the Christmas, probably tomorrow. I'm going to upload this video for you to watch so you can enjoy. Okay, or on Christmas time. So medium effect, so this is the preset, so pretty much medium effect, 16K resolution. Look at this, quality already improved. You can see asphalt improved dramatically. Alright. As again, Burnout Paradise remaster version will have a better visuals, and the cars will have the higher polygons count. But as again, just because I'm running 16K resolution, so pretty much this is how Burnout Paradise remaster will look like on 4K resolution. Just like this classic version, the older version looking on the at 16K resolution. Beautiful. The game has a great damages to the vehicle. You can jump, you can do a lot of great stuff. You can unlock a lot of vehicles as again. You can do a lot of tricks, and you can play online with your friends, which is nice. Check it out. Look at this beautiful visual, and you can repair the car, of course. Let me crash it. Let me show you what the crash looks like in this game. Oops. Still didn't crash, but you can destroy your car completely. Let me repair the car.
Build up your collection of cars,
there you go.
then find a junkyard like this
is how
one
you
to switch
repair
your
your
ride.
car.
There are
You can
5
use the bike.
junkyards to find in Paradise City.
But I'm just going to use the car during this benchmark. As again, the purpose of this video is not the gameplay. The purpose of this video, guys, is pretty much the benchmark. Keep that in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and use the red color. Backlights lookish like a Mustang 1969 or fastback. Alright, so still 60 FPS. As you can see, it's using the VSync. So not the VSync, but it's locked at 60 FPS, and we cannot unlock it. So, but when I'm going to increase the visuals, the FPS will go down, because this is 16K resolution. Come on, 133 megapixels rendered in real time. Again, the volumetric particles can turn down the FPS, but not at the medium. At medium in this game at 16K resolution looks amazing, guys. The level of details, every single texture pops. So this is when you're playing games at above 8K resolution, even at low presets, it lookish like high presets and 4K resolution, because the textures, like this texture of this car, if you play in 4K resolution, even if this texture on this car is 1K resolution, when you play in 4K resolution, you're probably not even rendering the full texture of all these details. But when you play in 16K resolution, even if the textures will be 2K resolution, but as again, not probably in this classic version, but in the remaster, texture will be probably 2K resolution. You're not going to render textures at 4K resolution. You're probably going to miss like 50-70% of the texture details. But when you're playing above 8K resolution, and especially 16K resolution, most definitely you're loading all the textures. That's why the game looking on another level, and you can definitely tell the difference when you're loading the game 4K resolution versus the 16K resolution. Alright, so let me real quick go ahead and change the presets. As you saw, the medium, no problem. For the Titan RTX during GPU architecture video card, and RTX 3090 video card will be also faster than that by 1.7 times. Based on our VRAM utilization, the RTX 3080 cannot handle this load, or if it's going to handle this load, probably not going to show faster FPS than Titan RTX, because VRAM overload, and when VRAM overload happens, the NVIDIA drivers are floating a lot of data from the VRAM into the system RAM, and you're losing a lot of FPS, and you receive a huge increase in terms of the milliseconds latency delay, and that milliseconds latency delay value we want to keep as low as possible. and FPS value we want to keep as high as possible at the right top corner. As again, we want to keep your eye constantly at the right top corner, trying to play the game at the same time coming in real time, at the same time trying to keep my eye at the right top corner as well. So let's go ahead and go to high. You're gonna see our GPU utilization going to increase, which is exactly what we want, and I want to see it at 97 and above percentage of our GPU utilization. So this is how the presets will be. Let's go ahead and accept this presets. Let's go ahead and have a look. Guys, I already commented like 4 different videos today on December 21st, and I'm losing my voice. When you're talking that fast for around 3 hours, you're losing your voice a lot, and I'm about to go to sleep. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, positive comments, share it with your friends, and check out my other videos. Alright, so this is the presets. We're running the high preset right now, and effects under this. SSAO is still off, as again SSAO going to tax a lot of our performance in our FPS. 52 FPS, as you can see, 4650, 59. So already below 60 FPS. As again, I'm recording this video with NVIDIA Shadow Play, so please add 4 FPS for this game. At least 3-4 FPS for this game. This is during my test before the recording. I played just 5 minutes to find out how much the NVIDIA Shadow Play, when it's recording in 8K resolution, taxing, and it's taxing 3-4 FPS in this game. So 52 FPS, and when I'm going to do the burnouts over here, we're gonna see it's even lower than that. Let me go ahead and demonstrate it to you. Look how beautiful the demolition works in this game. It's just amazing, the demolition effect. Alright, let's go ahead and do the burnouts, which are gonna give us actually volumetric particles. I'm going to tax a lot of FPS, but let's go ahead and have a look at the best possible scenarios, worst possible scenarios. So it's still like 45 the lowest. Not bad, very nice, but average is like about 50. Okay, this is the high preset, guys, and it's very comfortable, by the way. So in this game, about 45 FPS, it's comfortable gameplay. Keep that in mind. Okay, this game has a beautiful soundtrack, and you're going to enjoy some classic rock. Take me home to the paradise city when the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Please take me home. So pretty much soundtrack like this and all the kind of classic beautiful soundtracks you're going to enjoy in this game, guys. But I disabled the soundtracks for the copyright issues, so this game is amazing. It's kind of after the hard day at work, you can play and enjoy, release that bad negative energy and have some fun. So I showed you at high, okay? So pretty much you saw the maximum possible scenario at high, right? But anti-aliasing was off. Let's go ahead and enable the anti-aliasing 2x. Under the effects, we're still using the SSAO off. Right now we're going to utilize the GPU like crazy, and VRAM utilization will go up. So keep your eye at the right top corner, guys. Titan RTX, guys, is the first video card that allows us to play a lot of old school games at 16K resolution because of that 24 GB of the frame buffer of that VRAM. Okay, so this is the presets. Alright, let's go ahead and have a look. Immediately we drop. Alright, so we drop some FPS. Let me stop here and like over here. So 41 FPS, right guys? 41 FPS. Let me overclock the video card. I'm going to go ahead and overclock the video card real quick, and let me use the zoom tool. So it was running, the video card was running let me show it to you at stock. And this is what's the difference. Pixel fill rate was 169 gigapixels. Texture fill rate was 509 gigatexels, and bandwidth is our VRAM overclock, was 672 gigabytes per second. This is how it was stock. Keep your eye at these values. I'm about to overclock it. Boom, 1000 megahertz additional on our VRAM, which will be 16,000 megahertz output because 2x. Okay, and 100 megahertz on our GPU. You probably can hear a little bit of noise in the background. As again, I'm recording in real time. I'm not using the RTX audio, which is beautiful application by NVIDIA. It's utilizing your video card resources, RTX video card resources, since RTX 2000 series. But unfortunately, it's going to take 5 FPS down. So this is why I'm not using it, because the shadow play is already taking down 4 FPS of our performance. It's still taxing 4 FPS. I don't want to tax 5 FPS more. So you're going to hear a little bit of noise. I'm apologizing about it, but as again, hopefully not too much. Improved by 179.5 gigapixels as our pixel fill rate. Textual fill rate improved by 538 gigatexels, by about 30 gigatexels, and bandwidth increased by about 80 gigabytes per second, which is right now 768 gigabytes per second. So this is how we're going to rock it. Let me get back to the game. Let's zoom out, turn down the zoom. 1 second, guys, 1 second. How I can turn down the zoom? Only like that. Here we go. There's a shortcut for that. So as again, let me show you the demonstration that still the same visuals, the same presets, just like it was before. It was 42 FPS. Remember when I stuck there? Let's go ahead and have a look right now. 46. So improvement by 4 FPS, just like I told you, 10%. So software overclock give us additional 10%, which is amazing, because this type of performance is free, guys. Hopefully you're drinking your favorite drink, and the best drink will be for you guys water with the lemon. If you want to have some taste, then tea with the lemon. Try to drink this drink for about 2 months, and you're gonna clean your body. You're gonna feel so healthy just for 2 months. Tea with lemon every day. Avoid the sodas, avoid the alcohol, and let's go ahead and have a look. You're gonna lose the weight, you're gonna look much healthier, feel some healthier, and it's the best way to go. Use that lemon in the water, guys. It's gonna clean up the water, it's gonna clean up your body as well. Look at this, 53. As again, you're gonna add 4 FPS without recording, and with the overclock at 10% higher FPS, just at 10%. Beautiful. Wow. Bam, look at this, beautiful, guys. The game has beautiful, absolutely amazing visuals. Look at this, demolition effect. Bam. Wow. The physics, it's not physics, but physics in this game is amazing. So average like 50 FPS average, still at 2 times anti-aliasing, 2x. Amazing. But SSAO going to tax a lot in this game. Let me go ahead and do some tricks. So you can see that Need for Speed stole in this game a lot of elements and Most Wanted. Oh, my car is damaged, so it doesn't perform as it's supposed to. Bam! Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna use it as thumbnail. This 16K resolution recorded in 8K resolution, 8K resolution fame from this video will be amazing. Alright, so we saw it, right, guys? Let me go ahead and do the 4x. So we still have some horses to go. So anti-aliasing at 4x, but under the effects, still SSAO is off. 4x anti-aliasing. Check out our VRAM utilization, guys. It was below 15,000 megabytes, right? Have a look. What's going on is going to be in 1 second. Almost 18,000 megabytes of our VRAM utilization. Our GPU utilization is excellent, 99%. I love when my GPU utilizes 99%. That means that I'm wasting 1% of the 1 or 2% of the shader cores. It's still great. Maybe like 100, 150 shader cores wasted, but still not that bad. Still faster than RTX 2080 Ti video card that's using the same Turing GPU architecture by NVIDIA, but Titan RTX is 256 shader cores more than RTX 2080 Ti, plus RTX 2080 Ti cannot handle this type of load because RTX 2080 Ti has 11,456 megabytes of VRAM. Okay, 11 gigabyte of VRAM, so it's not going to handle it. Or if NVIDIA driver still can handle this load, it's going to offload a lot of data from the VRAM into the system RAM, and we're going to lose a lot of FPS. And the advantage will be much higher. Advantage will be like 30% higher on the Titan RTX in terms of the FPS, because it's going to have the healthy VRAM versus the RTX 2080 Ti, when it's not going to have the healthy VRAM, and it's going to offload that VRAM into the DDR3 in our case, or even if DDR4, even at 5,000 megahertz, it's still going to be 5,000 megahertz. It's not going to be as fast as, oh god, not as fast as DDR6 at 16,000 megahertz, which is 3 times faster, alright, versus the DDR4 at 5,000 megahertz. But DDR4 5,000 megahertz costs $1,000, and I own one. I'm going to provide you with a review of that system RAM. DDR4 at 5,000 megahertz very soon, guys. Available over the UHDking.com, or over the iPlay4k.com, or over the iPlay16k.com YouTube channel. So yeah, we can handle that, guys. 2x load, not bad. I don't want to do the 8x because I think we're going to overload our VRAM. I already tried that, and we're going to overload the VRAM, and it's going to go ugly. About 1 FPS, and latency delay will go to about 1000 milliseconds. So I don't want to do that, guys. 8x, no, thank you. Let's go ahead and disable the anti-aliasing for now, and go back to effects, and I'm going to enable the SSAO. This is very taxing things over here, even without the anti-aliasing. You're gonna see it in a second. And the GPU will be loaded at 99% constantly, because this is going to be a heavy preset, heavy compute for the GPU. Okay, and as you can see, in terms of our FPS, that SSAO taxing a lot on that Turing GPU architecture. And look at this, we cut down by, without it, it was running 50 FPS, right? Without the anti-aliasing. Right now we're running without the anti-aliasing, but with the SSAO. So we cut a healthy 30 FPS at least. I would say 2.5% at least. So this SSAO in this particular game for Turing GPU architecture is not so friendly, and it doesn't like it. Let me go ahead and do some burnouts, and you're gonna see with the SSAO we can see that details of that volumetric particles are on another level, and we can see it in the air a little bit. It's coming out, not too much though, but coming out like in some sort of foggy, and it's still volumetric, so it's taxing a lot. Yep. So if I'm going to enable the anti-aliasing by 2x, let's go ahead and have a look what's going to happen. Alright, I think we're going to go like to 9 FPS, something like that. This is, guys, the Steam version. You can purchase this game for around $1-4 and get yourself the Burnout remaster. Burnout Paradise Remastered, because as again it's going to also cost like $1-4. You can also buy it for $1, not a biggie. So 2x. Let's go ahead and have a look. I think about 9 FPS. Actually, it's higher than that. It's still 15 FPS, so pretty much the 2x on the Turing GPU architecture in terms of our anti-aliasing in this particular game, it's not like nothing. It only increased our VRAM utilization, but didn't decrease our FPS by a lot. So pretty much the anti-aliasing brings a lot of usage on the VRAM, and for the GPU it's like no problem for 2x. I'm about to go ahead and do the 4x, but I'm pretty sure 8x, even without the SSAO guys, it's going to overload our VRAM. The system RAM utilization at 8x will be around 17,000 megabytes. So it's going to jump from 9,000 megabytes to 17,000 megabytes in terms of our system RAM usage, and it means it's going to offload like about 10 gigabytes from the VRAM into the system RAM, and the VRAM utilization will go to like 23,000 megabytes, which is 24 gigs. So heavy offload 10 gigabytes from the VRAM into the system RAM means that it's going to be a hair from the crashing. Usually NVIDIA drivers crashing when the VRAM overload from this VRAM into the system RAM in around 6 gigabytes based on my experience. And we can calculate the data based on the system RAM utilization at the same time with the VRAM utilization using the basic math, guys. That's why I'm basic mathematics. That's why I'm putting this information for you at the right top corner, not like those monkeys, copycats doing it. I'm putting it with the purpose. Everything what's going on during my videos delivers a multi-angle purpose, okay? From the 3D artist point of view, graphic designer point of view, software developer point of view, hardware engineer, hardware enthusiast, PC overclocker. I'm a system engineer by the way as well, so I touch a lot of hardware. I know what I'm talking about. Plus, I'm a PC enthusiast and hardware and PC overclocker, guys. So I touch unique and PC hardware enthusiast hardware as well. So let's go ahead and do the 4x, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm just going to show you what kind of system I'm running, and that's it. We're going to wrap up this video. So this is our preset. As again, this video will be unedited. Hopefully we're not going to crash. The size of the 30 minutes 8K resolution recorded with the Shadowplay is about 100 gigabytes, guys. 45 minutes above 100 gigabytes. So if it's going to be 45 minutes, I'm going to compress it using the FFmpeg++ freeware application that I'm developing right now. It's going to utilize the FFmpeg libraries, but it's going to design for a regular user. It's going to be a great encoder, guys. Going to be YouTube presets by UHD King. You're going to love it. So 4x, this is the presets. Let's go ahead and have a look. Not bad. Turing GPU architecture doesn't care. 2x or 4x, as you can see, FPS lowered by only 2 FPS from 2x to 4x. But that SSAO is taxing a lot. Taxing like crazy. I will try to let me show you what kind of hardware I'm using, and then before I'm going to wrap up this video, I'm going to show you the overload. So just for your analysis. So this is what's up, guys. Of course this is not playable now any longer, but it's still benchable. And as again, the purpose of this video is not the gameplay. The purpose of this video is benchmarking, so we can find out what's going on, and we can test the results and do the analyses and compare it with the future technologies, future hardware, future CPU, future video cards. Hopefully guys this makes sense. And I'm using as again 16K resolution NVIDIA native DSR. I do not trust any third-party DSR softwares, guys. I used a little bit of third-party DSR softwares in the past, and they're not delivering proper information. They're not using the proper methods in terms of the rendering in proper resolution. NVIDIA knows exactly how to render 16K resolution, because NVIDIA pretty much creating the resolution for its video cards. So you saw it, guys. Not bad, not bad. So let me explain to you real quick what kind of system I was running today, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let me go ahead and pull up everything what you need to see. Okay, let me zoom in. So this is what's going on, guys. As I told you, I'm using the Intel Xeon E5-2697 V2 CPU from 2013. Back in 2013-2014, the CPU was priced at $2,500, just a processor, just a chip, just a CPU, and I purchased it in the beginning of 2020 for $129, but I sold for $79, but I didn't pull the trigger. It was used like new on eBay, so I purchased used like new on eBay for $129. Then when virus went up in 2020, the prices went up to $179, but right now the prices again dropped to $129, and this CPU in 2021 will be in the end of 2021, the CPU will be around $79. So if you 3D artist, graphic designer, especially when you're doing a lot of video encoding, like heavy video encoding, I'm talking about 8K resolution, when it's utilizing all the cores, and my freeware software that I'm developing, FFmpeg++, that will be doing a lot of video encoding, will be utilizing all available cores all the way to 140 CPU cores. So it's going to be great. As much cores as you're going to have, the faster you're going to encode your videos. Or if you let's say doing 3D rendering like 3ds Max, utilizing all cores, no matter how many cores you have anyways. So great CPU, but as again, only when you have a X79 motherboard and DDR3. If you do not have that, if you're planning to buy your motherboard from scratch, use like new also and your system RAM, I advise you to go ahead and grab yourself Xeon E5-2600 series V3, because V3 CPU is overclockable. You can hack the BIOS and overclock it, while the V2 Xeon E5 V2 is not overclockable. Keep that in mind. Yes, I cheated, but you can cheat it on another level with the V3 Xeon E5 CPUs, and you can clock at much higher frequencies. Okay, and Xeon V3 version will cost you about the same money, but it's going to feature more CPU cores as well, and it's going to be overclockable. All is going to feature the same CPU cores, but it's going to be overclockable to like 3.6, and on the all cores 3.5, on the all cores 12 cores, not 3 cores 3 threads. So you don't have to go in the BIOS and switch in the BIOS like I'm doing, just in case you can utilize all the cores, which is better. It's more convenient. Okay, so I was using 30 megabytes shared level 3rd CPU cache, as you can see, so 10 megabytes per each CPU. I don't think this game taking advantage of the level 3rd cache of the CPU, but I'm pretty sure that Quake 3, Quake 2, Quake 4, Doom 3, and taking advantage of the CPU core level 3rd cache, and probably the Stalker game series that is single-threaded performance game engine, probably taking advantage of the CPU core core level 3rd cache, but we're going to find out. I don't think this game will take that advantage, but if it does, so it's going to load a lot of objects very fast, those 3D objects on the level, but this game doesn't have a lot of objects on the 3D level, so I don't think that level 3rd CPU cache will take an advantage. Okay, so as you saw, 3500 megahertz. Okay, overclock on the BCLK bus speed, 6 megahertz additionally. Usually it's running 100 megahertz from the manufacturer. That's 6 additional megahertz brought us additional 200 megahertz overclock, so it was a cheating. Okay, per each core, no matter what kind of scenario you're running, it's at any scenario 200 megahertz additional overclock on your CPU just from this 6 megahertz. Okay, and motherboard, as I already told you, Gigabyte X79 UD3 version 1.1 with F20 BIOS from March 19, 2014. This BIOS is available from a Gigabyte website for this particular motherboard. This motherboard X79 Ultra Durable 3 UD3 version 1.1. They also have version 1.0, the earlier version, but this BIOS for version 1.1 will work with this CPU, but only with this BIOS. If you're going to have any other BIOSes, this CPU is not going to post, so I advise you to flash your BIOS with the i7 CPU, and I did it with 4930K. You can use it with any i7 that is capable for that 2011 V1 socket. Just flash it to F20 and then the CPU will post. Otherwise it's not going to post. Keep that in mind. And in the BIOS you cannot see all the 12 cores. You're going to see all the 12 cores only under the Windows. Okay, memory, as I told you, 32 gigabytes or 32,000 megabytes in quad channel, which is 256 bit, so 4 sticks, 8 gigabytes. I'm using this memory and this motherboard since 2014 when I was running 4 Radeon R9 290s in Crossfire with my i7 Core i7 4930K overclock at 4.2 gigahertz, but that CPU was only 6 cores and 12 threads, but this CPU is 12 core 24 threads. Completely makes sense. And I sold that CPU for $100 on the eBay used like new, so I invested in this CPU only $30, and I used my spare motherboard, this motherboard X79, and this memory from that 4930K build. So pretty much the whole system cost me $30 update. And as a workstation, as again, this is not my gaming station, this is a workstation for the 3D rendering and video encoding. Keep that in mind. When all the CPU cores are utilized completely, this is why I'm taking the advantage of this system. But the system going to be good for all-in-one system, especially if you're using the X79 motherboard and you're doing a lot of video encoding, but you also playing some games and you're doing 3D rendering. This is going to be a great system. As again, if you're having the X79 motherboard and DDR3 memory, otherwise go to version 3, Xeon E5 version 3. It's going to be a little bit faster, about 3-5% faster with the same cores and same frequencies, but that CPU can overclock to 3.5 gigahertz. Xeon E5-2697 V3 can overclock to 3.5 gigahertz, guys, per each core, per 12 threads. I mean, per 24 threads and 12 cores, 12 physical cores. Much better solution for the same money. But in my case, it was the best case. But my new desktop workstation rendering firm version 2.0 will be 2 Xeon E5-2699 V3 CPUs that I'm planning to overclock above 3 gigahertz on a dual socket Chinese motherboard. Total 72 threads or 72 virtual cores under the Windows or Linux is going to be the best system in 2021. My workstation version 2.0, and hopefully I'm going to boost up versus this CPU by 2.5 times. This is what I'm hoping on those two CPUs 2699 V3 with total 72 threads versus this 24 threads. Okay, as you can see, this is how the benchmark was. So I'm using 3 cores, 3 threads, but CPU-Z doesn't recognize 3 cores, 5 cores, 7 cores, so it's only benched 2 cores, 2 threads, which is fine. It benched it very well, by the way. This cache helping a lot in this multi-threaded CPU-Z performance. So in archiving, WinRAR, WinZip, it's going to be 7-zip. It's going to be amazing, guys, when you're using a lot of that cache per each core. So it's helping during this type of scenarios. Okay, what else? This is how the IDA64 GPU benchmark benched under the OpenCL. You can bench that API for the GPU and CPU at the same time and see the performance. It's pretty much the rendering API. And the IDA 64 cache memory benchmark, this is going to be the CPU related benchmark. Keep in mind that when my memory is set CL6 7721, I'm receiving latency below 95 nanoseconds, so like 92 nanoseconds, as you can see, 91.6 nanoseconds. Please watch this video, guys, at least at 4K resolution, but I advise you, for the best possible experience, watch it at the 8K resolution. So when I'm using the CL9 99927 or 24, my latency delay above 100 nanoseconds. So pretty much I shorten my latency delay by 10 nanoseconds. The lower value is better. So let's say if you cannot push your system RAM in higher frequency, you can try to play with the latency delay to lower it down, to increase the performance of your CPU. And this particular CPU doesn't like this DDR3. This is the Crucial Ballistics 1866 MHz CL9, but it's not stable above 1400 MHz. No matter what you do, it's just not posting. You gotta reset the BIOS, remove the battery, and 1400 megahertz, it's bootable into the Windows, but crashing after 30-40 minutes. So 1130 megahertz, which is 565 megahertz times 2, because this is DDR3, 1130 megahertz output will be stable no matter what you're doing, 24/7, and with the CL6, the best possible performance. So I lower my frequency, but I lower my latency delay and receive amazing performance over here. So this memory, guys, is performing in terms of read, write, and copy as DDR4, 2133 megahertz at CL18. Keep that in mind. So in dual channel, which is 128-bit, but this is the quad channel, which is 256-bit. Okay, means 4 sticks, and the CPU is ready for the quad channel. Okay, what else? That's it pretty much. Right now I'm going to go ahead and downclock my Titan RTX video card to default frequencies by the manufacturer, and you're going to see that my pixel fill rate will decrease, my textual fill rate will decrease, and the bandwidth will decrease, but you already know about it. Let me go ahead and do that. Boom. You saw that. Let me go ahead and bring it back to overclock, and we're going to jump in and play a little bit with the presets in Burnout. I'm going to overload my VRAM, and after that point I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys, with NVIDIA Shadow Play. Hopefully, if it's going to crash, I'm going to wrap it up. If it's not going to crash, I'm going to wrap it up. But don't forget to smash that like button for the support, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it on the forums that you're playing this game with your friends. This is the world's first 16K resolution in Burnout Paradise, and UG King was the first YouTuber that showed you 16K resolution of any gameplay back in 2016 on my 4 Titan X Maxwell GPU architecture. It was Half-Life 2 game. Alright, and Linus copied me. He was a copycat 6 months after, and he played the games that I played, but he never gave me a credit. Such a nice dude, huh? Anyways, let me go ahead and bring it like that for now, and I'm going to turn on the SSAO, and I'm going to overload with the anti-aliasing. So let's go ahead and save it like this. And then I'm going to bring it to 8 times anti-aliasing, and it's going to overload the VRAM like crazy. You want to keep your eye at the right top corner. Okay, so this is without the anti-aliasing, everything maxed out without the SSAO. Look at this volumetric particles over here, is amazing, this fog. And this is the classic game from 2008. This is not the remastered version. Wow, let me crash like that. Bam! Photorealistic crashes, by the way. I really like the physics, the demolition effect in this game. Alright, so 60 FPS, no problem. Maximum possible visuals without the anti-aliasing, and when the Titan RTX is overclocked, almost 60 FPS constantly. Not bad, not bad. Beautiful. And it's very playable, guys, even at 60 FPS. Even for those folks who's looking a little bit faster than that, you're still going to enjoy it. If you're into the Need for Speed, and if you're into this type of games, it's going to be an enjoyable experience for you, believe me or not. Alright, so what we're gonna do right now, hold on, I wanna get this sign. Oh yeah, look at the tires just went south. Fix my vehicle for free, huh? Alright, let's go and jump over here. Bam. Alright. So enough is enough, guys. Let's go ahead and play with the settings. The game is amazing, by the way. It's very addictive and it's easy to play. You're going to release that negative energy, and it's a great game. You can pick it up as again for $1, $2. Just search it on the internet. So let's overload it and let's go ahead and wrap it up. 8x. This is how we're going to rock, like that and like that. 16K resolution, 8x anti-aliasing, and they're using very heavy anti-aliasing method over here. That's it. It's going to be esta mañana. It's going to wake up esta mañana. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Por qué trabajo? Keep your eye at the right top corner, guys. Immediately look at that VRAM utilization, look at that system RAM utilization. So system RAM utilization went above 9,000 megabytes. So it was 9,000 megabytes. Right now it's almost 15,000 megabytes. So we offloaded 5,000 megabytes, and the VRAM utilization is above 19,000 megabytes. Means that 5,000 megabytes should be on a VRAM, and that's why the latency delay in terms of the milliseconds went above 1,000 milliseconds, almost 2,000 milliseconds. FPS is 0 to 1. It's not just because GPU is not capable to handle it, that TU102 Turing GPU architecture by NVIDIA, but just because the VRAM is not fast enough, and it's not actually a VRAM, it's a system RAM. Okay, and the data stored in the system RAM not fast enough, and it's right now it's running what, 11,300 megahertz versus the 16,000 megahertz. So 16 times slower. That's what's going on. We just lost it. Mathematically corrected. And 100% on the GPU utilization, but GPU jumped back to 37 to 100. So it's not the GPU issue. So this is the clearest sign, guys. So you will know what's going on. Alright? At the right top corner. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? We're going to Alt F4. That's it. This is what's going on, guys. And let me demonstrate you a very important factor as well. When you're playing the games at 16K resolution, and when you, I advise you, no matter if you're running in Windows mode or not, I advise you to go ahead and bring your desktop resolution to a 16K resolution as well, and 100% scale. Let me go ahead and show it to you. I'm running 100% scale, and this is exactly how you want to do it for the best possible and correct numbers in terms of the statistics. Otherwise, you know, it could be higher, a little bit higher FPS. So this is how my desktop is set: 100% scale and 15,360 pixels on my width and 8,640 pixels on my height. 133 megapixels. All right, we entered in real time. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. As again, I play 4K what with you today. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, stay safe, have a great day, morning, evening. And as again, this is my system in the middle right here. I cooled with the H100i Pro, I believe 3rd gen Corsair water cooler. And in the right top corner right here, this is my the gaming system. So it wasn't tested on my gaming system, it was my workstation dedicated to 3D rendering, video encoding. But on my gaming system coming out, so don't forget to smash that like button. But most likely in 2021, when I'm going to wrap up with i9-9900K, and I'm going to switch to something faster in terms of my gaming system and my workstation, my rendering firm version 2.0 as again will be 2699 V3 CPUs and dual socket Chinese motherboard, which will be hacked, and hopefully I'm going to push them above 3 gigahertz per each core versus 2.3 gigahertz as they design. And hopefully I'm going to beat up that Ryzen 5950X like it's nothing. Alright guys, smash that like button, subscribe. Till the next time.